Hello, my name's John. Mordheim Month is coming to an end, and you're watching War Games, Models, and Other Hobbies. Hello and welcome back to the final video of Mordheim Month. I hope you've enjoyed this overview of the initial release of Mordheim 25 years ago. In this video I'm going to take a little look at what was then later released and how you can still enjoy Mordheim and play it. So to start with, just going to have a look at this box set that was released, Blood on the Streets. Now, this was just extra terrain that was released, and as I flip it over you can see that we got quite a large building and a few other bits and pieces within this set. Now, this I managed to collect unmade with all of the parts, which I'm really happy about. If you'd like to see this unboxed and future Mordheim videos, please drop a comment in the comment section. If you're enjoying all of the Mordheim videos, hit a like, and if you fancy it, do a subscribe as well. But like I said, I'm going to save this one for a later video, this bit of terrain. It is that classic plastic and card hybrid that was introduced back in the late 90s. But now let's move on to some of the other things which were released after the initial game. Now here we have the Mordheim Annual 2002. So this is 3 years after the original release. Now between the original release and this annual coming out, there was a magazine called Town Crier. Now it's one of my hobby regrets that I never collected Town Crier, but if you search for it online you can find, as the fantastic hobby community does, all of the issues made as PDFs that you can find, read, get extra information and so on. But to start, we're going to have a look at the annual, which is some of the various articles put together in this one book. So just initially, if we have a look here, you can see there is a map of the city of Mordheim. And in the contents, this book allows you to play new warbands, which really expanded the game. So as a little look, we have the orc mobs, so you can now field orcs in the game. And I'm going to skip on through this book, so just so you can see some of the things that are in here. We've then got opulent goods, so different goods and things. Individual hired swords, so we have Imperial Assassins, Tillian Marksmen. We then have Dwarf Treasure Hunters, so rather than just having the Troll Slayer, we can now field a full warband of dwarves. A character, so Nicodemus, the Cursed Pilgrim. I'm lucky enough to have a model of Nicodemus, which I do want to paint one day, but if you'd like to see that in a video, drop it in the comments. So that is Nicodemus. So more scenarios to add to the ones in the game. We then have monsters, subplots. Then we have more human mercenaries, so we have the Outlanders. We then have Avalanders. So we start to get a variety of different human warbands. We then have some special characters, some Dramatist Persona. We then have Shadow Warriors, one of my particular favourite, and I'm looking forward to starting a Shadow Warriors warband soon. Now, the original models are ludicrously expensive now, but there are other models that you can use, which is what I'm going to do. If you'd like to see those in a future video, like I've said, drop it in the comments. We then have various mounts to be able to ride, and spiders and monsters and things like that. Basically, we end up with a large selection of extra rules, extra warbands, extra characters in this 2002 release. Now, through Town Crier, there were a lot of other rules that were released, also fighting in Lustria rather than Mordheim, so things expanded all over the old world. We then also got Empire in Flames. So this again is Mordheim, but this is taking place in all of the surrounding areas of Mordheim. So Mordheim itself is just there on the map, but this game is set throughout the Empire. So it introduces quite a few new things. So we have Beastmen, we have the Carnival of Chaos, which is a quite an interesting Chaos warband. But this expanded Mordheim outside of the city. So whereas you were playing in confined spaces within the ruined buildings, this you were out in fields, woods, the wilderness, all sorts of things. Really interesting book, quite difficult to come by now, but you can, like I said, with the Town Crier books, you can search for this online and there are PDFs available. Now, if you like my previous video of the Mordheim rulebook, which was released to everyone, being put on as a video, and you want to see Empire in Flames or the Mordheim Annual as a YouTube book, please put it in the comments. I'd be happy to sort that out and put that up on my channel. Now we enter another era of Games Workshop. This was the Fanatic era. So all of the small magazines that were released for all the specialist games, Town Crier and many of the other ones, were then amalgamated into Fanatic. Now, unfortunately, Fanatic only ran for 10 issues. This is a whole other video. If you want to see it, just let me know. But this had everything from Battlefleet Gothic, Blood Bowl, Epic, Inquisitor, Mordheim, Necromunda and Warmaster. Loads of extra rules, loads of extra characters. It only ran for 10 issues, but the amount of extra information that you got in here was fantastic. One of the special characters that is in one of the Fanatics is the Halfling Thief, which is one of my all-time favourite models from Mordheim, with his sack of treasure, his little highwayman mask, and little short sword. Now, there are other ways you can now enjoy Mordheim. So, there is the mobile game, which is free to play, but then you have to pay for extras within it, which is an alright game. But then there's also the PC and console version of Mordheim, which I have to say is probably one of the hardest games I've ever played. Granted, I'm not the best at computer games, but it is ridiculously hard, but ridiculously addictive, and anyone who's into that kind of thing, I'd recommend having a look at that game. Now, what I would say, if you want to see any further videos on Mordheim or expand on any of the things that I've looked at this month, please drop a comment and I'd be really happy to incorporate it into future videos. I've really enjoyed this month looking at that original release of Mordheim. In the description there will be a link to a playlist that goes through all of the videos, but all I want to say is I hope you've really enjoyed it. If you want to see any more videos, like I've been saying, put it in the comments. But for now, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me through Mordheim Month. My name's John, and you've been watching Wargames, Models, and Other Hobbies.